Oh ouais, c'est ça. Mon système, il a crash. Donc, c'est en fait, c'est Streamlabs qui a crash. Désolé, les gars. I'm sorry. Ça arrive. Et non. En direct. Et là. Hein? What the fuck? Ça commence à me faire ce genre de choses. C'est bizarre, ça. Attendez, les gars. Il y a un petit problème, là. Il y a un petit problème. Ça, c'est les chevreuils, je pense, qui m'ont attaqué. C'est les chevreuils qui m'ont attaqué. Waouh. Attends. On va juste attendre que plus de monde rentre. On va voir qu'est-ce qui se passe. Salut à vous tous. Il y a 17 personnes. Ok, pas de stress. Il y a 31 personnes avec nous tonight. Ok, parfait. Bah écoutez, je m'excuse pour cette coupure. J'essaie juste d'arranger un truc sur mon Google. Je sais pas qu'est-ce qui se passe là. Juste quelques secondes, les gars. Je suis en train de fixer ça. Je sais pas pourquoi ça niaise. C'est bizarre là. Vraiment, c'est bizarre là. Ah voilà. Boum. 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 Ok. Ça c'est fait. Juste un petit moment les boys. Ça sera rapide. Boum. Boum. Et tararat, contenu, boum, comme ça, personnalisation, chat réservé aux membres, that's it, enregistré, et voilà, on commence live. Donc, sorry les boys, vous avez, pour les non-membres, vous avez eu une petite récréation. Vous avez eu un petit break, donc vous êtes sortis du placard là, vous êtes tous là en train d'écrire. Mais non, vous n'êtes pas obligés d'être abonnés, mais c'est juste que j'en ai marre. J'en ai marre des questions stupides. Encore une fois, vous n'êtes pas obligés d'être abonnés, hein. C'est juste j'en ai marre des questions stupides, c'est pour ça que je bloque le chat maintenant, ok? Mais les questions stupides qui me font déranger, qui me font dévier sur mon contenu, j'en peux plus, tu vois. Donc les chevreuils restent dans leur coin et je m'en bats les couilles des gens stupides. So, je dis pas que les gens qui sont abonnés, c'est des gens intelligents, non. Mais en bloquant le chat, beaucoup de stupides, beaucoup de chevreuils, beaucoup de gens qui veulent juste troller le chat ne pourront pas écrire dans le chat. That's it, ok? Ce qui s'est passé, je ne sais pas. C'est la haine, comme il dit les gens d'Igno, je sais pas, il y a quelque chose. Le Streamlabs, il a juste shut down, il est tombé comme ça, boum, il a crash. Donc voilà, c'est des choses qui arrivent, c'est comme ça, donc c'est pas grave. So, on continue. Donc revenons sur nos sujets, on parle de donc Ripple qui est apparu dans le World Trade Center. Donc grosse publicité pour, c'est à New York en plus, grosse publicité pour Ripple. Et en même temps, ça parle de comme quoi Ripple n'a pas l'intention de perdre la poursuite de la SEC. Mais bien sûr que Ripple n'a pas l'intention de perdre la poursuite de la SEC. Personne n'a l'intention de faire perdre Ripple. Personne, mais personne. Ripple est dû pour gagner. Ripple va gagner. C'est inévitable. Donc, l'intention, elle est bonne. L'intention, c'est faire gagner Ripple. L'intention, c'est quoi l'intention avec cette affaire? C'est donner la clarté à XRP avant tout le monde. C'est ça l'intention. Donc, c'est une bonne intention en fait. Ok? On avance, donc ça c'est ce que je viens de vous montrer. Donc là maintenant on va rentrer dans la section que voilà quoi, qui est très intéressante et les connexions. Et on va finir le stream avec ça, avec une très belle connexion qui vient de l'Afrique du Sud. Ok, juste un petit moment, boum 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 boum, pop 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 pop. Petit bug pour vous, rien de méchant, mais moi, mon truc, il a juste crash. Mon truc a crash. Il a juste... Bah, comme... Mon écran est devenu noir. Bon. Donc là, on va parler de... Encore une fois, désolé. Là, on va parler de l'Afrique du Sud. On va parler de comment Ripple et XRP sont très utilisés en Afrique du Sud. Ok? Et le XRP Ledger en plus. Donc juste un rappel pour les gens qui ne voient, un rappel pour les gens qui ont oublié. et aussi une information, un knowledge, un nouveau knowledge pour les nouvelles personnes qui ne savaient pas ça, qui ne connaissaient pas ça. Donc là maintenant je vais vous montrer une connexion qui est quand même sérieuse et qui va vous montrer l'ampleur du XRP et du XRP Ledger en Afrique du Sud et en Afrique. Donc premier truc, on voit la fintech sud-africaine Xago lance XGB permettant des transferts de livres sterling de bout en bout en quelques minutes. Donc ici on voit Xago, c'est une compagnie qui est au Cape Town en Afrique du Sud, annonce la prise en charge de la livre sterling avec sa pièce stable XGB qui est adossée 1 à 1 à la livre, permettant aux clients du monde entier d'acheter des GBP, de transférer et d'atteindre son paiement point en quelques minutes de manière hautement sécurisée, conforme et avec certitude. Xago a récemment annoncé le lancement du dollar américain et de l'USDC sur sa passerelle de paiement et son échange commercial s'ajoutant au rang sud-africain existant et au XRP de Ripple et a maintenant lancé la livre sterling avec d'autres devises à suivre sous peu. Donc là on voit Xago, une compagnie sud-africaine qui vient de Cape Town, a lancé 2 stablecoins sur le XRP Ledger. Le XGB qui est adossé à la livre sterling et le XUS qui est adossé au dollar américain. Donc on voit ici, Xago a récemment annoncé le lancement du dollar américain et de l'USDC sur sa passerelle de paiement et son échange commercial s'ajoutant au rang sud-africain existant et au XRP de Ripple et a maintenant lancé la livre sterling avec d'autres devises à suivre sous peu. Donc là maintenant on a déjà le XUS venant de Xago, on a le XGB venant de Xago et il y aura d'autres, bien sûr, stablecoins adossés à d'autres devises fiduciaires qui verront le jour sur le XRP Ledger. Utilisant le XRP Ledger, les solutions financières innovantes de Xago sont conçues avec rapidité, efficacité et capacité transactionnelle à faible coût pour les entreprises, les PME et les particuliers en mettant l'accent sur l'autonomisation des personnes en Afrique. Leur dernier produit est une solution de transfert d'argent international en marque blanche développée spécifiquement pour les banques et les détaillants afin d'offrir une option plus rapide et moins chère, en particulier pour que leurs clients puissent envoyer de l'argent à leur famille. Donc là maintenant j'ai commencé avec un truc que peut-être vous connaissez déjà. Okay. Donc là on voit Xago en Afrique du Sud. Et ici on le voit clairement encore une fois, Xago stablecoin, on parle de XUS. Donc on le voit clairement, XUS. Donc là on a parlé de XGB, là on parle de XUS, les deux sur l'XRP Ledger. Donc un gros partenaire de Ripple. Maintenant, on a un autre gars qui vient de l'Afrique du Sud. On le voit clairement ici. En Afrique du Sud, des bureaux en Royaume-Uni, en Hong Kong et en Afrique du Sud. Et en Singapour, donc l'ouverture prochaine de Singapour. Donc, on voit clairement Mercury FX. Mercury FX, elle aussi, est connectée à Ripple qui se trouve, elle aussi, en Afrique du Sud. Le IFWG d'Afrique du Sud choisit les solutions ODL de Mercury. Ripple pour raccourcir la fenêtre de transfert d'argent. Mercury, c'est ce que je viens de vous montrer ici, Mercury, en tant que partenaire de Ripple, tirera parti du XRP pour les paiements transfrontaliers plus efficaces dans la région. Mercury a annoncé mardi qu'il avait été accepté par la première cohorte de régularité sandbox du groupe de travail intergouvernemental sur les technologies financières IFWG. Donc là, on parle d'une cohorte du Regulatory Sandbox du groupe de travail intergouvernemental sur les technologies financières. Donc Mercury a été choisi dans l'intergouvernemental sur les technologies financières d'Afrique du Sud pour son travail en partenariat avec Ripple et l'échange de crypto-monnaies VALR. Il s'agit d'un grand pas vers l'introduction de l'innovation FinTech dans la région. L'objectif est de raccourcir la fenêtre de transfert d'argent en utilisant le service On-Demand Liquidity de RippleNet et l'actif numérique XRP. Le processus peut être davantage utilisé, en particulier dans un vaste continent comme l'Afrique. Le IFWG existe pour faciliter le rôle de la FinTech et de l'innovation sur le marché financier sud-africain. Plus de 50 entreprises ont postulé pour faire partie de ce bac à sable réglementaire inaugural, Mercury étant l'une des 6 dernières choisies. Mercury, en tant que partenaire de Ripple, tirera parti du XRP pour des paiements transfrontaliers plus efficaces dans la région. Et là, qu'est-ce qu'on voit encore? On voit un PDF qui vient de sortir le 12 octobre 2022 et c'est le même IFWG que on est en train de voir ici qui est connecté à Mercury, qui parle de XRP, qui parle ODL. Le même IFWG, le 12 octobre 2022, tu fais une recherche sur XRP, on tombe sur Xago. cross-border remittances. Donc, c'est du vrai. Testing was completed during April 2022. Donc, le testing, les tests sont finis depuis avril 2022 pour Xago. On le voit clairement ici. OK? Donc, ici, on voit Xago tested the regulatory treatment of crypto assets, specifically XRP. Donc, ils ont testé le traitement des crypto assets, spécifiquement XRP, in terms of the exchange control regulations promulgated in terms of Section 9 of the Currency and Exchange Act. Use it for effecting cross-border transactions. Donc, il est utilisé pour rendre les transactions transfrontalières plus effectives entre l'Afrique du Sud, l'Angleterre et vice-versa. Donc voilà. Encore, si on fait une autre recherche, on va aller chercher encore une fois MERCI. Donc on voit ici encore MERCI FX, International Payments. Donc Xago, on parle de cross-border remittances, comme Telcoin si tu veux. OK? Et ici, comme Celo aussi. Mais c'est juste que Telcoin, c'est sur les téléphones mobiles. Eux, c'est MoneyGram, Western Union, dans tous ces délires-là si tu veux. Et là, on revient encore où on était, MERCI FX. Et là, tu parles de MERCI tested the regulatory treatment as well as the associated regulatory reporting implication and obligation of crypto assets, spécifiquement XRP. Tu vois comment ils mettent spécifiquement XRP? Et il a été utilisé pour les rémittances transfrontalières d'une valeur minime, ok, entre l'Afrique du Sud et l'Angleterre et vice-versa. Tu vois, donc si on comprend bien, la différence entre Xago et MERCI FX, c'est que MERCI FX a utilisé XRP pour low value, donc une valeur plus basse que celle de Xago. Donc une valeur plus basse pour les rémittances transfrontalières. Et pour Xago, ça a été utilisé pour les transactions transfrontalières. Donc low value ou big value, même chose. Tu vois? On avance. Donc ça, c'est ça. Maintenant, je suis tombé encore sur un autre PDF. Et là, c'est, encore une fois, ça vient de Standard Bank. Standard Bank, et ça aussi, c'est une banque sud-africaine. Et quand tu fais une recherche sur Ripple, tu vois clairement qu'ils ont parlé de une page qui est consacrée à Ripple, DLT, XRP, ODL, une autre banque qui se trouve en Afrique du Sud. Et, bien sûr, j'ai traduit ce qui se dit. Couche d'infrastructure de réseau interbancaire. Le World Economic Forum a parlé des transactions interbancaires. Il a mentionné XRP. L'infrastructure de réseau interbancaire fournit des liens directs permettant aux banques d'interagir, ce qui permet des communications et des transferts d'argent rapides et sécurisés entre les banques sur le même réseau. Le réseau de paiement SWIFT et ses concurrents, tels que la Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, DTCC, fournit les services de compensation et de règlement aux institutions financières. De plus en plus, les technologies de registre distribuées DLT, comme la blockchain, permettent une tenue de registre plus efficace pour les prêts, les investissements et même la compensation des titres. Donc la DTCC est connectée à Ripple. Okay? Donc RippleNet par exemple fournit un réseau décentralisé basé sur la DLT pour le règlement en temps réel des paiements internationaux. Le produit On-Demand Liquidity de ODL de RippleNet utilise la monnaie numérique de Ripple XRP pour les transferts de fonds, tandis que Xcurrent fournit un système de messagerie pour les paiements qui fait concurrence à Swift. Tu vois, Xcurrent, c'est un système de messagerie que les gens sur RippleNet utilisent déjà. Donc c'est pour ça que je vous dis sur RippleNet, on peut envoyer des messages déjà. Et sur RippleNet, on peut régler. Donc c'est pour ça les gens qui parlent de Swift va doubler Ripple, c'est des gens qui ne comprennent pas les produits de RippleNet, les produits qui se trouvent dans RippleNet. Juste avec Xcurrent, on a déjà dépassé Swift. Donc imagine avec XRP. ODL permet de traiter les paiements transfrontaliers sans avoir besoin de préfinancement, car l'échange est géré par XRP plutôt que par des comptes bancaires classiques. L'échange est géré par XRP plutôt que par des comptes bancaires classiques. ODL permet aux sociétés de paiement et aux institutions financières non bancaires de bénéficier de liquidités plus importantes. Donc des institutions non bancaires comme Uber, comme Airbnb, comme les grands mastodontes, comme Apple, comme n'importe qui. Et les laisse ouvrir facilement des comptes bancaires à l'étranger, sans risque de blanchiment d'argent. En général, les systèmes basés sur la blockchain comme RippleNet permettent de réduire les coûts de réseau et de messagerie pour les systèmes de paiement et les plateformes de négociation. C'est pour ça que quand je vous parle RippleNet et ISO 222, sur RippleNet, on peut faire des messages qui sont meilleurs que Swift. Donc, automatiquement, RippleNet est ISO 222 parce que le réseau RippleNet accueille les messages grâce à Xcurrent. Mais XRP n'a aucun rapport avec les messages. C'est Xcurrent qui fait les messages. Donc, XRP n'a aucun rapport avec les messages. Donc, XRP n'est pas ISO 222 ni le XRP Ledger. RippleNet permettant de réduire les coûts de réseau et de messagerie pour les systèmes de paiement et les plateformes de négociation, ce qui réduit les frais généraux administratifs. Élimine les erreurs humaines et prévient la fraude. Les réseaux interbancaires comprennent également les infrastructures de financement du commerce basées sur la DLT telles que VACT, Contour et Aroko. Contour qui est connecté aussi au XDC Network. On l'avait aussi connecté à RippleNet. Plusieurs banques qui opèrent souvent au sein de consortiums comprenant des entreprises de logistique et d'approvisionnement utilisent une infrastructure partagée basée sur le DLT pour partager de manière transparente la documentation relative aux transactions de financement du commerce. Compte tenu du paysage commercial fragmenté de l'Afrique, ce type de solution pourrait créer des gains d'efficacité massifs au niveau de l'infrastructure du réseau. Des efforts sont déjà en cours à cet égard. Par exemple, l'African Digital Asset Framework, qui est axé sur les transactions en monnaie et actifs numériques, utilise le jeton de sécurité RAISE pour numériser des actifs du monde réel, tels que des biens immobiliers, des œuvres d'art, ce qui permet de les échanger plus efficacement sur de nouveaux marchés. L'Internet de la valeur. Donc, plus les choses deviendront tokenisées, plus l'échange de ces actifs seront efficacement échangés. Quand on parle de crise de liquidité, vous vous rappelez, je vous ai fait un stream sur la crise de liquidité, excusez-moi, sur la crise de liquidité, ouais, ça c'était sur le Discord. C'était sur le Discord. Donc la crise de liquidité, c'est quoi? C'est que quand tu as des actifs comme l'immobilier et tu as besoin de liquidité et tu n'arrives pas à vendre cet actif parce qu'il n'y a pas de liquidité, et même si tu réussis à le vendre moins cher, oui, tu as une certaine liquidité, mais tu n'as pas une bonne liquidité. Donc imagine beaucoup de monde qui ont, pas beaucoup de monde, mais beaucoup d'institutions financières qui ont des gros actifs comme des hôtels, comme des maisons, etc., etc. Oui, ils veulent les vendre, mais elle est où la liquidité pour l'acheter au prix que tu veux? Mais si l'immobilier devient tokenisé et les banques se trouvent dans une crise financière, ils peuvent liquider leurs actifs aussi rapidement qu'un email, que télécharger une musique. Tu comprends ce que je veux dire? C'est ça une crise de liquidité. Une crise de liquidité doit avoir lieu pour que la solution se met. Et la solution, c'est la tokenisation. Et XRP adore la tokenisation. Plus il y a de la tokenisation, plus XRP aura de la valeur à déplacer. Et plus il y a de la valeur à déplacer, plus XRP sera dans un gros prix. On avance. Ici, ça vient de Standard Chartered. Et non, pas Standard Chartered. Standard Bank, la même banque qui a parlé de XRP et de ODL. La même banque dans son PDF. La même banque, elle opère une node de Hedera Network. La même banque opère un node de HBR. Vous voyez comment les choses sont connectées ici là? Donc voilà, donc ne soyez pas étonnés si la banque centrale... Et n'oubliez pas, attendez. Un truc que je vous ai pas montré. Dans ce PDF, le premier, où on voit XRP mentionné avec Xago et Mercury FX, regardez-moi qui est dans ce PDF. South African Reserve Bank, la banque centrale de l'Afrique du Sud. On a même le National Treasury de l'Afrique du Sud. On a même le service de revenu de l'Afrique du Sud. Et on a même... voilà, je sais pas, eux, je les connais pas. Bref, voilà, c'est juste pour partager ça avec vous. Comme quoi, ne soyez pas étonnés si on entend plus de choses venant de l'Afrique du Sud. Et pour finir, non, j'ai encore un autre truc à montrer. Ripple Labs, XRP Labs lance enfin un service on and off ramp pour XRP aux Pays-Bas. Donc là maintenant, comme Western Wind, ou je ne sais pas comment il s'appelle, maintenant on peut retirer sur nos comptes bancaires si on vit aux Pays-Bas et si on utilise Xoom. Bientôt, on pourra retirer en Allemagne, je ne sais pas c'est où après. C'est où ça? Attends. Pays-Bas pour l'instant. Et bientôt, ça sera en Europe et au Royaume-Uni. Ok? Donc, on pourra retirer à travers l'application Xoom sur nos comptes bancaires. L'Allemagne, la Belgique. Donc, bientôt, ça va venir l'Allemagne, la Belgique et le Royaume-Uni. Bientôt, la France aussi. Donc, à travers Xoom, on peut retirer sur nos comptes bancaires. Et ça va être merveilleux. Ça va être magnifique. Tu n'as plus besoin de vendre tes XRP. Tu n'as plus besoin même si tu veux vendre tes XRP, tu les vendras sur Xoom. That's it. Parce que Xoom va utiliser le XRP Ledger. Ils vont utiliser le DEX du XRP Ledger pour liquider tes XRP en euros ou en dollars ou ce que tu veux. Donc, et là, mais pour avoir ce service, il faut avoir le Xoom Pro payant à 60 dollars. 60 dollars par année. Et tu auras des frais annuels d'environ 5 dollars en plus de l'abonnement annuel. Donc, 65 dollars en tout que tu vas payer par année pour avoir ces services qui sont des services VIP. Tu peux toujours avoir l'application Xoom qu'on possède maintenant. Mais si tu veux l'utiliser comme une passerelle vers ton compte bancaire, tu devras payer 65 dollars par année. Et là, on parle de compte bancaire néerlandais, justificatif de domicile aux Pays-Bas, passeport néerlandais. Donc, il nous faut tout ça pour opérer avec Xoom. Ok? Donc, c'est cool. Moi, je suis content pour de vrai. Je suis très, très content. Et là, ça, c'est un autre PDF qui vient de The Papers. Et là, on parle de who's who in payments. Donc, qui est qui dans les paiements? C'est un rapport qui est sorti en 2022. Qui est là-dedans? On voit, je ne sais pas c'est qui. Merchant Payments Ecosystem. Donc, ce n'est pas vraiment des personnes que je connais ou des entités que je connais. Mais bien sûr, si tu fais une recherche sur Ripple, on voit clairement Ripple est mentionné clair et net. Et on le voit ici bien comme il faut. Comme d'habitude, j'ai traduit. Concentration accrue sur les niches rentables dans les paiements B2B. Exemple des paiements transfrontaliers B2B et de la blockchain, les paiements de B2B comprennent de nombreuses niches spécifiques. Allant des voyages B2B au marché B2B en passant par les frontières B2B. Avec des revenus et un potentiel de croissance élevé qui sont ciblés par les nouveaux entrants. Les nouveaux entrants dans le domaine des paiements transfrontaliers B2B s'attaquent à de nombreux points douloureux, allant qu'une mauvaise expérience client au retard de paiement en passant par les coûts et le manque de sécurité et d'efficacité. Dans ce cas, Visa B2B Connect a été conçu pour créer un réseau multilatéral permettant d'effectuer des paiements transfrontaliers B2B prévisibles, sécurisés et rentables pour les institutions financières et les entreprises clientes. Currency Cloud, qui est un partenaire de Ripple, est un autre fournisseur axé sur les paiements transfrontaliers inter-entreprises qui tire parti des capacités innovantes de la blockchain en s'associant à Ripple. Ripple fournit un système de règlement rapide des paiements basés sur la blockchain, permettant de traiter des opérations de paiement plus rapides par rapport à d'autres alternatives telles que Swift. Et là, tu as des chevreuils qui ne font pas leur devoir et qui osent venir et dire que Swift va doubler Ripple. Tous ces PDF que je te lis, tu ne sais même pas s'ils existent, mais toi, tu es tellement un Albert Einstein dans ta tête que tu as réponse à tout. Si moi, je comprends déjà une grande partie et je continue à lire pour apprendre plus, tu devrais faire le double que ce que je fais moi. Donc pas besoin de lire le tout, mais voilà. Donc voilà, j'ai fini le stream. Ça fait combien de temps que je suis en stream? 1h38 minutes. Donc ça fait vraiment plaisir. Là on va regarder une vidéo de 50 minutes. Maintenant les gens qui vont partir, je vous dis ciao ciao, bonne soirée, prenez soin de vous et on se voit lundi à 21h en français sur YouTube. Les gens qui vont rester, je vous dis restez avec moi parce que c'est une belle vidéo qu'on va regarder ensemble. Beaucoup de choses qui vont être dites. Ouvrez les oreilles bien comme il faut. Et bien sûr, je vais parler tout le long du stream. Ok? Je vais parler tout le long du stream pour expliquer, pour donner mon opinion. Sinon, je dis à tout le monde, ciao, ciao, prenez soin de vous, un merveilleux week-end, un merveilleux samedi soir. J'espère que vous avez aimé le contenu, j'espère que vous avez aimé le stream. Les autres qui n'ont pas aimé à cause des insultes, je m'excuse, je suis vraiment désolé. Je suis conscient de ce côté qui détruit mon image, I know. Mais c'est ce qui fait que je suis moi. That's it. Aussi simple que ça, ok? Mais je suis quelqu'un de respectueux. Je suis quelqu'un qui respecte les femmes. Je suis quelqu'un qui respecte les hommes. Je suis quelqu'un qui respecte les gens plus vieux que moi. Je suis quelqu'un qui respecte les gens qui connaissent mieux que moi. Je respecte tout le monde. Je ne suis pas un arrogant qui a réponse à tout, ok? Mais chacun a ses défauts et ça fait partie de mes plus grands défauts, ok? Donc, je vous dis pardon pour les autres. Et les autres, encore une fois, je vous dis ciao et je vous dis bonne soirée avec ça. Mais les autres, je vous dis pardon pour mon comportement. Mais les autres, tiens, bien comme il faut. Alright? So, ciao les boys. Prenez soin de vous. Les gens qui vont rester, on va regarder la vidéo ensemble. Et je vous vois dans l'autre screen. Ciao.
Competition, and it's coming from many directions.
Hola. Shalom.
Ciao.
Bonjour.
안녕하세요.
Konnichiwa.
你好.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Yawa Shah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cybos. Wow! After 2 years of bringing the community together online, we are absolutely delighted to be here back in person and to continue extending Cybos to delegates from all around the world. First time virtually in a hybrid experience. And to all of you digitally that are out there, let me welcome you as well. A lot has changed since the last time I was on this stage. The world has undergone unprecedented transformation, shaped by the global pandemic, geopolitical shifts, recalibration of supply chains, accelerating digitization, and significant economic turbulence. But in spite of all this, our industry has proven itself to be highly adaptable, demonstrating great resilience under extraordinary pressure, and with an ability to innovate during these difficult times. We have an important role to play, now more than ever before. And that frames our themes for the week. We have a lot of great sessions to look forward to. And this starts now with our first speaker. It is my absolute privilege to introduce our opening speaker, Her Majesty Queen Maxima of the Netherlands. In her capacity as the United Nations Secretary General Special Advocate for Inclusive Finance for Development, Queen Maxima is a leading voice for financial inclusion around the world, championing responsible innovation that supports universal access to safe and effective financial services. For more than a decade, she has served as the UN Special Advocate, advancing important ESG issues to the top of the country and corporate agendas in support of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. She is active in many other forums as well, including the G20's Global Partnership for Financial Inclusion, the World Economic Forum's Global Challenge initiatives on the future of the global financial system, and here at home, the Dutch Committee for Entrepreneurship and the Dutch MoneyWise platform. And Queen Maxima is certainly familiar with that industry, having worked and trained as an economist and banker. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the SciBoss stage Her Majesty Queen Maxima of the Netherlands.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a pleasure it is to be with you to open this SciBoss 2022. Our theme, Progressive Finance for a Changing World, could not be more timely. The rise of inclusive finance is a genuine good news story at a moment of great challenges. Over the last decade, a quarter of the world's adult population has gained access to financial services. Fully 76% of adults are now in some way included. This is a remarkable achievement, which has unlocked new opportunities for millions of people previously left behind. Investments in critical digital public infrastructure, such as greater connectivity and digital IDs, have laid the foundation for this amazing growth. And the rise of digital payments has driven a massive increase in account ownership. In the last 4 years, almost 40% of adults in developing economies open their first account to receive a wage or a government payment. Millions of small merchants are now paid or making payments with their own phones in their own pockets, transforming their ability to manage their finances and invest in their businesses. This, in turn, has enabled financial service providers, especially new fintech players, to innovate in the design and delivery of new products and services. The rapid growth in mobile phone use and new customer data trails offer exciting new ways to deliver financial products by leveraging big data and AI, especially in emerging markets. Yet, we should not seek innovation for innovation's sake. With each new technology, such as central bank digital currencies, for example, we must always ask, what problems are we trying to solve? And what future are we envisioning to stand the best chance at achieving long-term success? How do we provide more value beyond what existing platforms can already deliver? Well, the first priority is to make sure we do no harm. Ensuring key digital public goods are in place, like cybersecurity, consumer protection, data governance, and digital literacy, can help marginalized communities navigate financial services more safely and in ways that really work for them. Fair competition and interoperable payment systems can help markets work better for even the smaller scale customers. But that is only a first step. We have a chance today to move beyond doing no harm to actually doing good. So beyond transaction volume and customer acquisition, can we create the rails for transformative change to help users become more financially healthy? Just as we should not innovate for innovation's sake, we should not design products simply to maximize short-term results. Rather, it is important to see how much value we can generate in the long run. Value for customers that in turn translates into value for firms. For example, one Australian bank invested in measuring financial well-being of their customers to understand their behaviors and to develop products that could help them become more financially healthy. This resulted in a goal tracker program that helped 20% of their non-savers to start saving regularly. How can we do more of this? How can we help people to better manage their day-to-day finances, to get access to credit, to plan and meet future goals, and at a time of multiple crises, to build resilience and ensure themselves against shocks? To do so makes real good business sense. Financially healthy customers are better customers, and those who provide these services can differentiate themselves from other providers. But for the moment, that is not what is happening. Today, despite growth in account ownership, only 55% of adults in developing economies can access emergency money within 30 days. 55%. And almost half of respondents in a recent survey, including those from OECD countries, therefore rich countries, agreed with the statement, "I have no money left at the end of the month." In some places, we have seen both an increase in access to finance and simultaneously a decrease in financial health. So please, let us identify the best solutions to these challenges and really bring them to scale. One approach is to encourage private-private partnerships that provide services across entire value chains. In Côte d'Ivoire, for example, I saw an excellent partnership between an agri-tech platform, We Agri, and a company that processes and distributes cashew nuts, and a financial sector provider. Together, they were able to combine financial services, market access, business training, and extension services to help women across Côte d'Ivoire's cashew nut sector. This partnership has benefited everyone across the value chain, and it has increased efficiency, transparency, and productivity, supporting local economic development. Collaboration across industry and government is also key to creating inclusive digital public infrastructure that really enables services beyond finance. Think about health, think about education. These are the building blocks of sustainable development. If we get this right, digital innovation holds tremendous promise for financial inclusion and financial health. So let us please envision that better future, share our experiences, and use this conference, ladies and gentlemen, to build a secure, trusted, and efficient digital economy that really works for all. I really trust that you will actually take it to the next level and you can make a difference in your own countries. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Majesty, for those very interesting insights. It has been a true privilege to have you on the SAIBA stage. Farewell, and thank you again for joining us.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning. It's a real pleasure to kick off this year's SAIBA conference. Geopolitical tides, an energy crisis, economic concerns, all of these add up to a very uncertain world right now. Our challenge is to understand and manage all of the risks and to make our way through. The financial system is the backbone that supports the wider economy, and so it has a vital role to play in these changing and indeed challenging times. during a time when the financial system itself is undergoing change. So today I want to talk about what that changing world of finance looks like and how the European Union is responding to the risks and opportunities of those changes, in particular in the areas of digital finance and payments. But I have to begin by addressing one horrific fact. War has returned to the European continent. Russia's brutal war is hitting Ukraine and its people first and foremost. In the European Union, we have relied on the financial system to help us implement sanctions on Russia. We imposed these sanctions alongside our international partners to show Russia that its illegal aggression will not go unanswered. Our sanctions have inflicted very real harm on the Russian economy and financial sector, with more effects which we will see over the medium term. There is a very clear cost for these banks, which means that the measure is working. Russia's war is also contributing to the rising cost of energy and food. In these difficult times, it's more important than ever to have a strong financial system as the backbone of the economy. The financial system itself is in a time of change and upheaval. Technology and innovation are having a huge impact. From the perspective of your average consumer, this might seem full of possibilities. You can now open a new account without ever needing to set a foot inside a physical bank branch. You can use all sorts of new apps to pay for things like splitting a bill among friends, online purchases, or shopping at a market stall. You can even venture into the world of investing much more easily. For the financial sector, there is a lot going on right now, and the pace of change and innovation is accelerating. New companies are sprouting up with new business models. New products and even completely new markets are emerging. Behind the scenes, internal processes are being revolutionized by artificial intelligence. But there are downsides as well. We risk leaving behind people who aren't as comfortable with technology, especially more vulnerable groups. Consumers can invest more easily, but without the right guidance and protection, they might take big risks and face big losses. The Financial Stability Board has warned that crypto markets could grow into a threat to global financial stability. In addition, the reliance of financial firms on the same providers for digital services could open them up to new risks. This new world of digital finance is exciting, fast-moving and full of potential. But it's clear that there are risks as well. So our European regulatory agenda is about embracing the possibilities and at the same time guarding against the risks. We want the financial system to be resilient against all sorts of cyber risks. The Digital Operational Resilience Act means that all financial firms will have to be able to withstand risks like cyber attacks. And I welcome that EU institutions have concluded their negotiations and found a political agreement on this act. There is a clear and urgent need to bring crypto asset markets into the regulatory and supervisory fold. So I do welcome that there is agreement among the EU institutions on proceeding with our new and world-leading regulation on markets in crypto assets. We also recognise the benefits in the technology behind crypto, distributed ledger technology. In March next year, a pilot regime will enter into force, allowing market participants and regulators in the European Union to experiment with trading and settlement of tokenised financial instruments using distributed ledger technology within safe boundaries. Our support for innovation in the European Union is strong, and that also applies in the field of payments. In the coming weeks, the Commission plans to deliver a legislative proposal to speed up the rollout of instant payments in the European Union. Instant payments are a simple idea. Money changing hands at the click of a button and within seconds. But that simple idea has a powerful impact for an individual who can pay their emergency repair person, for a small business that doesn't have to wait so long for invoices to be paid, and for financial firms that can offer new services based on this instant nature. But right now, only around 1 in 10 credit transfers made in euros are instant. At the current rate, it would take us 10 years to reach a full rollout of instant payments in the EU. So we simply can't afford to wait that long. Our legislative proposal will include measures to promote a much more widespread use of instant payments made in euro. Instant payments should be the norm and not a premium service. So they need to be priced proportionately, as is already the case in a number of EU countries. Consumers should feel confident about using instant payments, which means we should put in place safeguards to reduce the risk of fraud or indeed errors. And finally, providers should be able to rely on a consistent and efficient EU sanction screening process suitable for the instant nature of these payments. We believe that this instant payments proposal will bring us closer to a fully integrated market for payments in Europe. With the boom in private digital payments, central banks around the world are considering how to respond. And indeed, many are looking into central bank digital currencies. Today, over 100 countries are exploring this area. And that makes international cooperation absolutely essential. I welcome that the G7 has laid down a set of principles for central bank digital currencies. In the European Union, the Commission is working closely with the European Central Bank on a possible digital euro. A digital euro would be a companion to physical euro cash, which would keep its rightful and important role. And a digital euro would also provide an alternative, not a replacement, to private means of payment. The digital euro could provide new options for online payments, offline payments, peer-to-peer payments, and many more. We see a major role for private payment service providers in the distribution of the digital euro. Cooperation with the private sector would have clear economic benefits by increasing competition and innovation in the EU retail payment market. The Commission will propose a legislative proposal to lay down the principles for a digital euro in 2023. And this is a necessary step before the potential issuance of a digital euro by the European Central Bank. In these uncertain times, the role of regulators is to provide rules and guidelines to enable financial firms manage risk and take on only those risks which are manageable. In the EU, we're supporting financial innovation while guarding against the dangers. And we look forward to seeing the new innovations that will change finance for the better. So together we are designing the future of finance. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Yawa Shah.
Thank you again to Commissioner McGuinness and to Queen Maxima for kicking off our program for the week. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is once again my honor and privilege to be with you to provide you an update on your cooperative. And, as is my tradition, I will focus on three things. 1, execution of the SWIFT strategy. 2, SWIFT's continuous innovation and focus on the future. And 3, leveraging the unique strength of our community. Let me take each one of those in turn. First, strategic execution. Banks are in a world of intense and intensifying competition, and it's coming from many directions. Fintechs, big tech, new technologies, and many more are challenging today's financial ecosystem. And of course, you know all this because you live it every day. But you also know firsthand that banks are equally leaning in hard on the future and significantly transforming the end client experience. We also see this at SWIFT. In fact, I'd like to point out a few inconvenient facts when people ask me if banks are keeping pace with the changing times. Allow me to talk a little bit about payments first. Most payments on SWIFT today use GPI, and that means 50% reach end beneficiaries within 5 minutes. What impacts speed? An analysis of SWIFT GPI data earlier this year with the BIS found that payments spend noticeably more time at the beneficiary leg than in the in-flight first leg. In fact, more than 80% of the processing time is at the beneficiary leg because of factors like capital controls and operating hours. And there's another important point. The research confirmed that cross-border payments on SWIFT involve typically one intermediary. again contradicting some misconceptions, and payments with 3 or more represent less than 1% of SWIFT's total volume. The point with all these stats is to underscore just how much our industry has transformed the payments experience and the strong foundations we have put in place. SWIFT's strategy is building on this and goes even further to enable instant and frictionless payments and securities transactions from account to account anywhere in the world. And we're not just providing you with just 1 or 2 components either, but delivering a whole package that provides a seamless end-to-end experience for you and your end customers. This capability is unique to SWIFT, and we have been laser-focused on the execution. Today, you can check on the security of your counterparties to make sure you are doing business with them. You can pre-check beneficiary account details to confirm upfront that a payment will get to its ultimate destination. Automatically spot potential anomalies you want to watch out for in flight. Handle problems that come up in real time. And maintain the visibility of your transaction all the way for you and your customers. And that is just not on the high-value wholesale side either. Since we spoke this time last year, we are building great momentum on SwiftGo that allows banks to get much more innovation and competition in this space with their front-end offerings to small businesses and consumers for low-value payments, reusing SWIFT in the back end. In the next few months, we'll make a huge advance in cross-border landscape as we activate SWIFT's transaction management capabilities. This is a step change in the way international transactions work, taking us beyond sequential messaging to an API-driven orchestration layer, which will power future services such as anomaly detection, data analytics, tracking, and exception management. And all of this powered by ISO 20022 rich data. The payments industry demanded this new standard to drive increased automation and innovation and better customer experiences and reduce processing exceptions. Now, you all have put in significant effort to get ready for this, with multi-year preparations in full swing. There are 3 levels to this: SWIFT readiness, community readiness, and MI readiness. SWIFT is prepared and looking at how we support you and the whole ecosystem. As we near the start of the migration window in November, we are looking at all kinds of what-ifs, as you would expect, to support execution, which must be impeccable, given the systemic implications of this transition. And we have also one more topic in the business side, securities. We see huge potential in securities as well. As you may know, securities is about 50% of our traffic, and it's an important part of our future. We're working closely with the industry players to tackle common pain points that create friction and that leads to settlement fails. This includes work like the new SWIFT Securities View that we recently announced, which will bring new levels of transparency in the post-trade processing world. Underpinning all this is our continued work in areas like financial crime compliance and cybersecurity through the Customer Security Program to help the industry achieve ever higher levels of efficiency and effectiveness. But as you know, I always like to cover 3 points. So let me just also emphasize that even as we execute faster than we ever have, we never lose focus on what matters the most: the security, the reliability, and the resiliency of our network. This is absolutely fundamental to our franchise and where we make significant investments every year. And we have plans to do even more. Watch this space. And as you know, we are overseen by the G10 central banks, which underscores our unique role in the world, and this further reinforces our strong commitment to innovating responsibly. Which brings me to my second point, our relentless focus on the future. Unfortunately, none of us has a crystal ball, but it's still vital that we prepare for the future. So we have to think in several different dimensions all at once. There are things we can predict with high levels of confidence. There are things that we think are maybe likely. Then of course, there are things that take us by complete surprise, like pandemics, that while we can't say what nature they will take or if and when they will come, we still have to anticipate. SWIFT is constantly doing this, anticipating the things that could impact our community. In fact, as a global neutral cooperative owned by you, we are uniquely placed to build the foundations for the next generation for the financial services industry. Now, I've already shared how our strategy is gearing up and setting up the industry for success for decades to come, and the instant and frictionless future we know that we are preparing for. SWIFT also plays a vital role in identifying and evaluating emerging technologies and their business implications. We have a chief financial officer and an entire innovation team solely focused on this. And their work is even more important than ever before at this pivotal stage in the financial services digital transformation. We are innovating in multiple areas to anticipate how we can help you adapt and adopt different forms of value with a focus on interoperability. SWIFT is working across the industry with banks, central banks, market infrastructures, and regulators on numerous proofs of concept, and is closely examining emerging trends in areas such as central bank digital currencies, tokenized assets, where we just announced some breakthrough work, and the linking of market infrastructures to explore how it can support interoperability and enable the seamless flow of value. Of course, none of us alone can figure out the future. And with the forces of disruption that are out there, competitors, technological change, geopolitical shifts, economic turbulence, and so much more, there's a lot to keep us all awake at night. These are challenging, complex times, uncertain times. None of us knows what's beyond the horizon, but working together will put us in the best possible position when we get there. And this brings me to my final point, the strength of the SWIFT community. Amongst us, we have the talent, we have the technology, we have the financial resources. And through SWIFT, the cooperative that is focused on delivering for each and every one of you, we have the mechanisms and the will to solve for the future together. Our North Star is, and always will be, to focus on what our community needs from us, remaining true to our core mission, which is to be a neutral provider, powering bank-centric future at a scale and with a strong and unwavering focus on, same thing, security, reliability, resiliency. As you've heard me say so many times before, you get out of SWIFT what you put into it. And that it's important that you engage with us and the financial community, leveraging the services that will secure the foundations of our industry for the years to come, and continue to challenge us with the opportunities you want to seize, so that together we can realize a faster, better, smarter, responsible future. So, in conclusion, allow me to reemphasize my three themes: execution of the SWIFT strategy, continuous innovation and focus on the future, and the unique strength of our community. And in closing, my thanks go to the board and their tremendous engagement and governance during a challenging year, the NMGs, national member groups, for representing the communities worldwide. You are the heart and soul of SWIFT. And the entire SWIFT management team and SWIFT employees worldwide for their ongoing commitment, hard work and devotion. They really care for you all. It is my personal honor and privilege to serve on your behalf as the chairman of the board of SWIFT. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, now please welcome to the stage Javier.
Okay, so thank you, Yawar, and to all of you, hello again. Well, yeah. Well, it's great to be here and indeed to welcome you to the first Saibos since the pandemic. And I'm entering now my 4th year as CEO, and every March I had the same question to answer. Will we or will we not be in person at Saibos? Well, this year the decision was a little easier, but bringing in more than 8,000 people, we are of course have taken nothing for granted, and we've considered dozens of factors to deliver the best possible Saibos in a safe and sustainable way. And I hope you agree, right? It's great to be back. And it's also quite fitting to be here in Amsterdam, for our return to a physical Saibos. Because, the Netherlands is a great example of a community that truly knows what it means to collaborate, to innovate, and to adapt its physical infrastructure. And, well, I don't know if you know, but about 1/3 of the country is below sea level. So it has survived, actually, through an amazing network of drainage systems that prevent flooding. It has, the Netherlands, actually, one of the most sophisticated anti-flooding systems in the world. And if that critical infrastructure wasn't in place and working so effectively, well, Saibos could be underwater right now. And talking about collaboration, innovation, and adaptation, I think our SWIFT community knows something about it as well. Well, we need that spirit to be able to address the global challenges that we'll be discussing this week. I mean, challenges like climate change, geopolitics, pandemics, rising energy costs, inflation, recessions that are affecting people all over the world. So, and of course, we just heard it, financial inclusion from Queen Maxima, still a lot of work to be done, and we have a very important role to play as an industry. And there is no doubt that some of these global shifts are already having an impact in the industry. I mean, take the pandemic. Well, the worst pandemic in 100 years has massively accelerated digitalization as institutions raced to meet the growing needs from businesses and consumers all over the world. And having navigated the pandemic, the current geopolitical crisis was fast on its heels, with, of course, the war in Ukraine that has tragic human consequences, as well as broader geopolitical ramifications. Well, we heard it from Commissioner McGuinness. She talked about the industry's role in sanctions. Obviously, SWIFT was brought into the spotlight like never before due to our role in the financial ecosystem. As you all know by now, we are subject to EU law, and we implement EU sanctions decisions and work together with banks to comply with our collective responsibility to implement them. And alongside those really extraordinary external factors like the pandemic and geopolitics, the technology has kept on accelerating at a massive pace. And our industry press today is full of the future promise of CBDCs, tokenization, or artificial intelligence, to name a few. And that's just today's news. If you head over to InnoTribe, I'm sure you will, during the week, you'll hear the latest about DeFi, Web 3.0, and the metaverse. So it's a great promising concepts that are out there. But we still have our fair share of challenges. In different ways, each of these external factors, the pandemic, geopolitics, and new technologies, are all contributing to the increasing fragmentation of the global financial industry. And this is something, by the way, is a theme that has come up repeatedly in recent meetings with CEOs of financial institutions and also government leaders all over the world. The IMF, in fact, predicts that just technological fragmentation alone can send some countries into reverse gear and cut their GDPs by 5%. And let's not forget as well that for transactions across borders, interconnection is everything. And our community, as the backbone to the financial industry, has always been a symbol of global cooperation, focusing on the opportunities that can bring us together. And that's why I believe that we're perfectly placed to be part of the solution in addressing this global fragmentation. Let me lay out why. Well, first is that we're about more than messaging. We bring standards, data, security, and compliance to keep the world connected with the right levels of transparency, risk, and control. In fact, every year, we raise the bar even higher on resilience, cyber, and endpoint security through our customer security program. And when we innovate responsibly, because maintaining trust in the industry is more important than ever. So a strong and secure core is the foundation. But with our vision to connect up to 4 billion accounts worldwide in an instant, we are making international transactions work faster, smarter, and better. Thinking of our role, let me take the example of our rock concert. We take care of all the back-end technology and hundreds of other details behind the scenes so that you can focus on the one thing that matters the most, wowing the audience with a flawless and memorable experience. So I can tell you, we are certainly delivering on all that promise. I will not go back to the specifics that Yao just went through, but if we take the benchmarks that the G20 has set for improving cost, speed, transparency, and choice and access, we are showing strong momentum against those. Let me go quickly through them. On speed, there is the FSB has said that by 2027, 75% of all international transactions should reach end beneficiaries within an hour. Well, you heard it from Yao. We're well on the way with about 50% of all GPI payments reaching end beneficiary accounts within 5 minutes. On cost, we are stripping out friction-related costs from the industry through data and screening services, and as well, of course, through pre-validation, that has not only the potential to improve the cross-border payment experience, but it also can remove potentially millions, if not billions, of costs from the industry. And that is through our own services, but also through partnerships, potentially. So lots going on the cost front, as well on the transparency front. With GPI, we provided end-to-end payment chain transparency at completely new levels. And by the way, yes, we mentioned it as well, we're taking that same level of transparency now to the securities post-trade space with Securities View that will allow you to track securities transactions end-to-end and prevent the costly challenge of settlement fails. So with all of that, of course, choice and access is a key point as well. We are opening up new accesses to the Swift platform through our cloud and API-based connectivity solutions. And that is not just for traditional Swift services, Swift messaging, but also for full transaction services powered by our new transaction manager. So, you know, the fact that all of that is in place, GPI has allowed us to take that to the next level in terms of the wholesale space. But right now, we can also apply the same to the retail space with SwiftGo. You will be hearing about it. What that means is that we're improving the speed and transparency for all retail payments so that you can offer new services to your end customers. But remember, the rock concert is not just about what's visible up front. It's also about reliable and compliant technology in the back. That is, let's face it, becoming increasingly a differentiator in these retail segments. So that's where we stand today. But we are also taking innovation to the next level. And let's take CBDCs and digital money. We heard it as well from Commissioner McGuinness. There are over 100 countries now exploring CBDCs. But in that front, international cooperation is essential. So, well, very pleased. I mean, you may have seen it already, that last week we announced the results of groundbreaking experiments in that field that show essentially that CBDC DLT networks can be interlinked, and not just with each other all over the world, but also with existing payment systems. And what this means is that as CBDCs will be rolled out, they can automatically, immediately scale and be used globally. And all of that, we're achieving it through Swift's new transaction manager that is acting as a bridge. And exciting to see as well that an increasing number of major central banks and commercial banks are joining this sandbox. And we have similar experiments as well going on the security space with leading-edge innovation on tokenization. As digital assets mature, they can also be seamlessly exchanged across borders. And of course, with November almost upon us, rich data through ISO 20022 is also a big part of the industry's innovation agenda. We're fully ready at Swift to support the start of the coexistence for cross-border payments. And what is really exciting is to see that over time, there is a huge potential for improving the frictionless future for cross-border payments and further innovation, leveraging that rich data. So you can see this is a join-up vision that addresses fragmentation, and that where the whole becomes now bigger than the sum of its parts. But we can't do this alone. We need you if we want to transform and the speed, transparency, and interconnectedness of the global ecosystem. We need you to adopt these new innovations and doing that across the global ecosystem. And I can tell you, we are here to support you every step of the way. I've been part of Swift for over 2 decades now, nearing 3. Well, in case you were wondering, I started when I was 5. And I just love Swift's capacity for change. Last time I stood in front of you, in my first year CEO, it would have been impossible to predict that a global pandemic and a geopolitical crisis were just ahead. There will be certainly future unknown challenges, I'm sure, but I am convinced that our unique global organization will be more relevant than ever before. And that because we have a purpose in unifying the financial industry, and that, I have no doubt, will be more critical and definitely needed for the next decades to come. Let's appreciate also the chance this week for in-person human connection and take the bigger picture. Is that we know technology is great, but as the saying goes, technology is at its best when it brings people together. So I would like to thank the entire Swift team for having worked so hard over the past 2 years to see us through the challenges that we have. But also I would like to thank you all for being such a united global community.
Et voilà les boys, donc c'était agréable, vraiment c'était une très très belle vidéo, surtout la partie de la dame. La dame là, elle a bien parlé là, pour de vrai, elle n'arrêtait pas de parler. Quand elle a parlé, c'était vraiment Ripple all over the place. Ça parlait que de Ripple, Digital Euro, tout ce qu'elle disait c'était Ripple, 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 Ripple. Donc voilà la famille, donc je vous dis un merveilleux samedi soir, prenez soin de vous. Il est 10h30 ici, ça fait 2h30 que je suis en stream, donc ça fait plaisir. Je vous dis un bon week-end, on se voit lundi à 21h heure française sur YouTube encore une fois. Une nouvelle semaine, des nouvelles news, un nouveau blabla, un nouveau contenu qui nous attend la semaine prochaine. Donc prenez soin de vous, bonne soirée et voilà. Peace.